Hi, everyone, and welcome to 1023 Yoga. You've arrived. I'm glad you're here with me. This session is geared towards those who are fairly new to yoga, or those of you who are looking for a more grounding and relaxing practice, perhaps after a difficult shift, when you're getting ready for bed, when you need to calm down. For those of you struggling with an operational stress injury right now, I myself have been to the very dark places that the mind can go. I've always found yoga to be an excellent tool to help cope and battle those dark places. It's why I became a yoga instructor, so that I could share these benefits with my fellow first responders. I hope you find it beneficial as I do. Let's get started. Okay, for this session, I am using a yoga bolster, one of these big rectangular pillows. If you do not have one of these, you can use a pillow from your bed or a cushion from your couch, something about that thick that you can sit comfortably on for a few minutes. All right. So the reason for having a bolster or a pillow beneath the seat is to help tilt the pelvis forward. And that little bit of elevation of the pelvis and hips allows you to sit in a cross-legged position a lot more comfortable. A lot of us are very tight in the hips and low back and sort of tend to round, and the knees come up really high, and it can be really uncomfortable to sit cross-legged, especially for several minutes. So this allows you to sit up nice and tall, find length in the spine, reaching the crown of the head to the sky. Okay. Take a moment to find the seated position that works for you. You might need to extend one leg. You could have both out, or finding that cross-legged traditional sukhasana in Sanskrit, an easy sitting pose. Taking a couple of deep cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, just to let go of your day. Inhaling and exhaling audibly, allowing yourself to become present and to arrive. We're going to begin with a breathing practice known in Sanskrit as Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breath. This breathing technique is very calming. It helps balance each side of the brain, promoting your nervous system to activate that rest and digest, your parasympathetic nervous system response. Okay, so this can be very useful before going to bed, after a hard shift, things like that. Okay. So taking your right hand and placing the two fingers, the index and middle finger, just resting on your brow center. And so we're going to be alternating sealing each nostril. And so my sort of breaks, if you want to call them, are my thumb on my right nostril and my ring finger on my left nostril. And the pinky finger is just floating. Okay. So have both nostrils open to start. We're breathing normally for a moment. Okay. Mouth is closed. And then as you find your next exhale draws all the way out, you're going to seal the thumb over the right nostril and inhale through the left. You're going to close both nostrils, hold, and then exhale out of the right. So letting the thumb go. My left is sealed. Now I'm going to inhale right, seal both, and hold briefly. Release left, exhale left. Inhale left, right is sealed. Close both, hold, and release the right. Left is sealed. Left still sealed. Inhale right. Seal both. Exhale left. Inhale left. Seal both and hold. Exhale right. You might wish to close the eyes if that's comfortable to do so. Inhale right. Close both. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close both. Exhale right. Really draw out the breath. Inhale right. Close both. And exhale left, drawing it out. Couple of times quietly on your own. You find that arm getting tired or the shoulder getting heavy, you can always place the left palm underneath that elbow just to add that elevation. Keep going. When you release your next exhale from the left, no rush, you'll release the hold and place hands on the thighs and breathe deeply normally for a few breaths at your own time, just noticing. You might feel a little bit clearer or a little bit more restful, or you might feel a little bit stirred up, a little bit more anxious. That can happen too, or you may not notice any change, and that's perfectly fine. Just take notice of what you notice. Good. Taking the next inhale to bring the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Couple times up to the ears, inhale, back down as you exhale. And one more time, let's really bring everything up. Scrunch the face, keep inhaling. Everything's tight. I'm even clenching my jaw, my fist. And then I'm going to let it all go. Let it all go like water off a duck's back. Let it go. Shake the hands out a little bit. Good. Extending the legs. If you have them crossed, give them a good shake and bend of the knees up and down. Wiggle and a jiggle left to right. Good. Just loosening up the hips there. Okay. So coming off of that bolster or pillow that you're using and sliding that to one side. We'll keep, Okay, so we're going to take the left shin and bring it parallel to the front edge of the mat. And the right shin is going to be parallel to the long edge of the mat, coming into this 90-90 position, or sometimes referred to as deer pose. I'm going to get a nice length in my spine as I inhale, and I'm going to walk the fingers forward as I fold over that front shin. Now, this can be quite intense for the hip, especially if it's tight. So if you walk over toward the left a little more, it helps ease off. You can also come up onto your fingertips, palms, or fists, okay? So alternatively, if you want to go a little bit deeper, And as we find our breath, sometimes the body allows us to go deeper. You can bring the torso over toward the center of the mat. So play with that and see what space is best, what position rather is best for your hip and your body. When you find it, let's come down to palms can be stacked together like a pillow. Find that long breath, slowing down. There may be some discomfort, but there shouldn't be any pain. So if ever there's pain, I want you to back out of the pose. Discomfort is a different thing. Sitting in discomfort and observing it, breathing through it, is different than pain. As you breathe, the body might soften and you might be able to walk the hands and torso over to the middle a little deeper into the stretch. Couple more breaths. I can really feel this in my outer left hip. On your next inhale, we're going to slowly come up, pressing up, and we're going to find our way into the other side. So you're going to just swap the legs. Right is going to come to the front, and the left is going to come to the long edge of the mat. Okay. Again, set up that 90-90 position, your base here. Inhale to get that length, and exhaling to fold forward over that knee, over the center, or towards the foot. Find which space, which position works for your body. Each side will be different. This may be easier or a little bit more difficult on this side. Stacking the palms can help so that you can really rest into the posture. Finding those long breaths. Even sighing it out, I find that really helps because sighing is signals to your nervous system that everything is okay. And even if things do not feel okay right now, if you sigh out loud, you're still signaling to your body that it's okay to let go. Noticing after these few breaths if the body will allow you to go a little bit deeper. You might move the torso towards the middle, deepening the stretch. I can feel this on my outer right hip. And we carry a lot of tension and trauma, which we store in our hips. This is an excellent release. Finding your next inhale to gently press back up. And from here, bringing both feet forward, having them the width of your mat, and knees are width of the mat. And we're just going to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. So again, we're getting into those hips, loosening, releasing. Also a bit of a massage for the glute muscles in the butt. Finding those sighing exhales. Good. Now, bringing the feet together, the soles of the feet together, kind of like a book, and the knees out. We're making this diamond shape. So having the diamond a little bit longer rather than shorter so that we can really get into the hips again. And finding length in the spine as you inhale. Exhaling to bring the the chest rather forward. Okay. Now, if you do find, I'm going to turn to the side, if you do find that you're really, really rounding like this and it's really hard to reach forward, that's just because it's tight. And it's kind of like what I said at the beginning, sitting on something like that bolster or pillow that's hopefully still close by you can really help. So now I've got that tilt, that forward tilt in the pelvis. So rather than this rounding, all of a sudden I can come up a little straighter. And as I reach those feet forward and create that larger diamond, now I find I can really keep a straighter spine as I go forward. And then eventually you can round the spine like so, but this really helps you get forward and it helps you get into the hips. So, no matter where you are, finding that inhale long and that exhale, sigh it out. Taking a few breaths here. Mm. Sometimes it's nice to release the hands from the feet and just extend the arms forward, the backs of the palm resting on the ground. And now I'm allowing my head to go heavy and just really allowing the body to soften. Mm, good. Finding the next inhale to gently roll up. So let's come up one vertebrae at a time. So just unrolling the spine. The head is the last to come up. And then the shoulders come back up to the ears, back and down. Good. Now, if you are seated on a pillow or such, you can move that again. And we're going to gently roll ourselves down to the back using abdominal muscles to come down. Ah, finding your way to the floor. From here, placing the feet below the knees and feet are hip width apart here. I'm going to extend my arms alongside the body, preparing for bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana in Sanskrit. I'm going to tilt the pelvis. So notice that when you tilt it, the low back presses into the ground. You might be able to see that as I do that. Okay. So when you tilt the pelvis, that low back presses in the ground. Continue as you lift the hips toward the sky and breathing here. Okay. Notice if the knees have splayed wide, that tends to be the case in this posture. So can you bring them back in alignment with your hips and with your feet? You can stay here, or to go a little bit deeper, you can roll the shoulders beneath the back. You can press the hips a little higher to the sky. So you're getting a nice opening along the front body here, along your hips and quads, the abdomen. And you're also stimulating your thyroid gland, responsible for metabolism in your throat. Notice the breath, check in. If you need to come out of the posture, listen to your body. Otherwise, hold the posture for a few more deep breaths. On your next exhale, roll the spine down, one vertebrae at a time, till that low back touches, and then you can untilt the pelvis and gently bring the knees into the chest. We'll just counter that position with a little bit of a massage to the low back and a little bit of letting go, finding that sigh, because there was a bit of intensity to that, right? So now let it go. Notice the difference. Notice that opposite exchange of that tensity, intensity, and letting it go. Okay. Good. Placing the feet back to where they were in that hip width apart position. Taking the left ankle and just placing it on the right knee. So preparing for this figure four position, you might stay right here. I'm already feeling an opening on my inner hip. Okay. Or you can bring that right knee into the chest. Now, some folks reach behind the right thigh and pull in like so. Okay. Reaching through that little window. Myself, sometimes I just tend to hold on to the shin of that top leg and just sort of gently pull it in as I'm also pushing my knee towards my body. Okay. So find what works for you. And if you gently sway the hips from left to right, you may notice that it changes the way the stretch affects the outer hip, the outer left hip in this case. You can continue rocking, or you might find that sweet spot that you want to hold the stretch. Maybe closing the eyes, finding that breath. Good. Finding your hips coming back to center, gently bringing that right foot down and releasing. And then take the feet wide and knock the knees together just to rest for a moment, just to open up the low back. And take a moment to just notice what you notice. Is there a difference between the two sides? Is there a difference between the two hips? Does one feel looser or tighter than the other? Bringing the feet and knees back to hip width apart. We're going to come into the other side. So I'm going to take my right ankle and place it on the left knee. I'm going to open that right knee up, and I'm already getting that stretch, that inner hip stretch. You might stay right here. Or you can explore bringing that left knee towards the body. Again, either holding the shin, which is my preferred method, or you can reach through and clasp behind that left hamstring. I find for me, I have shorter arms, and it's sort of when I clasp like that, it sort of causes my neck to arc and pulls my shoulders up. And so I much prefer just using the knee to push that foot towards me, and I rest my hands on the shin and pull that in a little bit. Again, there's no pain in this. If there's ever pain, please back out. You might close the eyes. You might gently rock from hip to hip, noticing how that changes the stretch and finding the spot that your body is calling for a little extra attention to stretch. A few more deep breaths. Good. Coming back to center with the hips, placing that left foot down and then the right foot. And then this time, place the soles of the feet together like we did earlier, allowing the knees to fall. And so we're now in this reclined butterfly as we were in seated butterfly before. You can rest the palms on the belly, or I sometimes like to bring the arms up ahead and maybe clasp each elbow, really opening up the shoulders. So you're releasing in the hips here, you're opening the shoulders. Saying to yourself, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. Long, deep breaths. Noticing anywhere in the body that you can soften. I'm noticing my shoulders. I can let those release a little bit more. My hips, I can allow my knees to just let go a little bit more, just a millimeter more. And the muscles in my face, certainly, I can relax those a little more. Ah, and when you're ready, gently bringing the knees back to center. You can help them up with the hands on the outside of the knees and bring those knees into the chest again, and we'll gently rock from side to side. Preparing for a twist, a two knee twist in this case. Now, if your bolster is nearby, I'm going to grab mine just so I can use it to show you some options. So, with the feet below the knees, again, as we were, hip width apart, I'm going to take my arms into a T and I'm going to lift my hips and move them about an inch or two to the left. Inhale the knees up and over to the right. Okay. And I'm going to place my palm on that top knee. Now, where the bolster comes in is my primary objective is to have that shoulder on the ground, that left shoulder on the ground. So if you find it's sort of floating up here and you find your knees are up and you're not able to relax, that's where I want this bolster because I can place that below the knees, and that's going to help ah, allow the torso to twist so that I can place that shoulder on the ground. So the bolster can go under both knees or between the knees. Find what works for you, but the idea here is you want complete relaxation. Okay, and you can take your gaze over to that extended arm and let go. Hmm. Sighing it out. Closing the eyes if that's an option. And with each exhale, your body may allow you to soften a little more, and maybe you'll find eventually you don't need that bolster anymore. Okay, and now I'm getting a full and deep twist. I'm getting a nice stretch on the outside of my top hip and across my chest. Good. If there's any tingling sensation in that extended arm, just bring it down towards your body on a 45-degree angle. That should resolve that. And when you're ready, bringing your head back to center to start, extending the arms out into a T and bringing the knees up and back to the center. Now, shifting the hips back to the middle. Just take a pause here, just noticing again. Do you feel a difference between the two sides of the body as you've done one directional twist? And then lifting the hips and gently shifting them a couple inches, 1 or 2 inches over to the right, bringing the knees into the chest and over to the left, placing that left palm on the top right knee, and maybe taking the gaze towards that extended arm. And again, checking in with this shoulder. Each side is different. So if this shoulder is floating up like so, I'm going to take that bolster and I'm going to place it between the knees or underneath the knees so that I can open that chest and rest that shoulder down. Okay. Closing the eyes if comfortable to do so, allowing the body to fully rest. Twisting is an excellent promotion of the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to the body that everything is okay. We can stand down here. Standing down. Ah, any tingling sensation in that arm as I'm getting myself, I'm just going to slide that to a 45-degree angle. Just an angry nerve. Long breaths. Coming back to the breath when the mind wanders. And when you feel even from both sides, bringing the neck back to center and bringing the knees up and feet back to the ground, shifting the hips back to the center. And again, just taking a moment and noticing, bringing the knees into the chest. And as you inhale deeply, find the exhale to bring the forehead toward the knee and curl up into a little ball. Oh, good. And then taking that bolster or pillow again, and what we're going to do from here is place it beneath the tailbone or the sacrum. Okay, so I'm just going to lift my hips and shift it right there. And I'm going to extend my feet to the sky. So we're coming into waterfall position. This is really beneficial because it is an inversion. Inversions can be very useful for insomnia, really helping you calm down. You can even incorporate the arms up to the sky as well, and just sort of noticing that grounding feeling it provides. Maybe you feel something different, and that's totally fine. Sometimes, especially when I was first starting out in yoga, I found certain postures actually kind of triggered anxiety, and that can happen. I've been there. Everybody's experience is going to be different. Just notice what you notice. You can sway. Sometimes it's nice to sway the arms and legs, kind of just like seaweed in the ocean, just very gentle back and forth, maybe circling the ankles and the wrists. Just calming down and noticing that if you are having the anxious effect in this or any of the postures we've done, um, keep practicing, and breathing through discomfort is the key here. We're not in pain, we're not pushing to pain, but we're breathing through discomfort and reminding ourselves that it's okay. Signaling to the brain and body that it's okay by doing these type of postures and exhaling audibly. Ah, and even saying to yourself, I am okay. Good. And we're going to slowly prepare for final relaxation pose, Shavasana. And I like to slide that bolster down below my knees so that I can help take tension away from the low back. Many of us have back issues in our worlds, and so this can really help allow you to fully soften. If you have a blanket, socks, I highly encourage that to get warm. You will cool down quite a bit. You can remove hair ties, eyeglasses, rings, anything that may be distracting, and allow your arms to extend alongside the body and your feet to just sort of rest. And the full weight of your body is supported by the bolster, by the ground. You've nowhere to be. You can close the eyes or find a gentle gaze, saying to yourself, I am calm and relaxed. Noticing any points in the body that you can offer just a little bit more comfort. Maybe the eyebrows or around the jaw. Maybe gently part the teeth. Shoulders are soft. Hips and buttocks are soft. Knees and feet are soft. You're fully supported here. Feel free to stay as long as you need. Otherwise, coming back to the breath, just noticing the points of contact your body is making on the mat. Bringing some gentle movement to the fingertips and toes, gently rocking the head from side to side. Letting out one more of those satisfying exhales. Increasing the movement into the legs. I even feel like a yawn coming on. I'm going to inhale and I'm going to stretch by clasping my fingers above my head, pointing my toes and then my heels away. Inhaling as deep as I can, and then I'm going to exhale. Let it all go. Bringing the knees into the chest and gently rocking to one side. Surrounding the spine here and pressing up to find your way into a seated position as we started. I'm going to take that bolster again and just prop myself. And you might like to place the opposite leg in front if you remember which one it was. Usually it's the whatever our go-to favorite cross-legged position is. Do the opposite. And just placing the palms on the tops of the thighs, inhaling those shoulders up, back, and down. Taking a moment here, finding a soft focal point or drishti. Just checking in. Just checking in with how you feel. There's no right or wrong answer here. You're just noticing. Thank you very much for coming to practice with me here. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, please share with other first responders who could use this. Stay healthy and stay safe out there.